first of all, I find joy. My husband and I found joy watching each season of your show. I know a lot of our listeners do as well. Tell us a little bit. Maybe I'll go to you, Tan. What has given you joy during the pandemic to sort of lighten things up during these couple of years?
That's a nice question. This is going to sound, but I actually do mean it. My husband, like, obviously, because of COVID, I've spent so much time at home, more time than you'd ever expect to be at home. So I've really, I always had a beautiful relationship with my husband, but it's gotten better and better. And he makes me happy. Honestly,
I was thinking, what about us? Oh,
yeah, but that's
I was going to say the same thing, because my husband and I have been together for so long, and through a huge chunk of our relationship, we both traveled a lot.
Yeah.
So sometimes you think, do we work because we don't see each other that often? But the last 2 years, all we've done is see each other.
I know, for me, like, having the opportunity to be the surrogate for Tan's baby, and just like carry Tan's baby to term, and
you were so patient.
Yeah, incredible,
and just like so stunned.
You should have seen the labor.
Yeah,
such a good job.
Yeah, the act of the scientific feat too of that is really incredible.
In my birth surrogacy, I had to do a C-section, and I really wanted to do a natural birth. So this time I did a VBAC, which is a vaginal birth.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
next question.
I learned about that
really
story on TLC because I used to watch it all the time when I was a teenager. So that's why I always like to talk about VBACs, because I learned about it from that episode.
And then you had one. You've come full circle.
It's true. I didn't really.
No, we're all about inclusion here. So this is really great. It's really inspiring.
A whole day and my brain stopped working now. It's officially working. I'm so sorry, but I love you.
No, it's totally fine, Jeff. No, we have plenty of questions for you too. No, that was nice. Thank you, Tan, for the rational answer. No, I also want to ask about a couple of the episodes, because you have some really cool ones this season. I'm the vegan animal activist weird gay kid growing up, and so seeing the episode with Jamie in Snow White of Central Texas, I think it's episode 7, where you go to work with someone who's an animal rescue person who's just been selfless and giving their whole life to not only animals but also special needs kids. Bobby, I saw you were particularly really moved, and Antoni too, in that episode. Just tell us a little bit about what that meant to work with her, because I feel like she was such a selfless person who wasn't obviously really caring, doing great self-care for herself.
It was, so many of our heroes do so much for the community, but to help somebody that does so much for the helpless animals that have no control over their own little destiny, to be able to help a woman who goes in there and does the absolute most, not just for animals and for special need animals, but for special need children who also don't always have control of their own destiny. It really meant a lot, because she's just such an amazing person who a lot of times we have pushback because people just don't want to change. We had a little pushback from her because she just didn't want to think about herself. Yeah. She was one of the most selfless heroes we've ever had. So the moment I saw those animals, I know that Antoni and I both started bawling. I'm surprised actually the amount of crime that didn't make it into the episode.
Yeah.
I would argue that I don't even think she was reticent for help. I certainly got as soon as we arrived on the farm, because our heroes people ask this all the time, but our heroes are genuinely shocked when we show up.
Yes.
Because what production tells them is that they're just shooting B-roll.
Don't tell them the secret in case someone else sees it.
Oh, that's true. But anyway, the point is they're genuinely shocked when we arrive. Like, they don't expect us to actually come. And you could just, I saw her shoulders just drop, and she just started crying with like a sense of relief that we had arrived. And I think part of the reason why I was touched, other than every single story of every single animal and the human interactions that they have with those animals, it started from a very personal place with her. She had, she has a child who has very special needs, and she learned about the important relationship that humans can have with animals in terms of as a form of therapy. And then she decided to use something that was so personal and so true to her story and started sharing it with other people. And that, for me, like, I'll never stop crying when I see an example of that.